Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Girl Chat with Nicole and Ivy. And
Yay!
today we're going to talk about, I know we've brought this up several times in our other
hmm
episodes, and we're always saying we're going to talk about it. And now we're finally going to talk about it. We're going to talk about female friendships and is it hard to find female friendships? Is it hard to keep them or nurture
hmm
them? What's the deal? I know a lot of women have trouble with their friendships.
Yeah, it's really interesting because there's even a coach on, like, she coaches women on how to keep and how to find girlfriends.
That's crazy. Like,
Because last year I was like, I wouldn't say a breaking point, but I was just like, that's it. I need to find, maybe it's me. What do I need to do? Why do I always tend to meet men? Like, guys, no problem. For some reason, they flock to me. Okay, I don't, and majority of the time they just want to date me. I'm gonna have girl talk with them though, you know? And
yeah.
yeah, I looked up like, okay, maybe I need to find like a coach. And there really is one out there. I found a few on Instagram.
Have you taken any of their advice?
Actually, I think I was skimming through some of their posts and I found it really interesting that she made, like, some of their posts was like, most women tend to stay in really bad friendships because they're afraid of losing that friend, or they end up just staying in a friendship that isn't healthy, and we shouldn't have to do that. And I thought that was really interesting because, like, I could relate to that.
Yeah.
She didn't really give any tips. That was just the one thing that stood out to me.
Yeah. So, do you have any girlfriends? Like, do you hang out with chicks like outside of work or hang out with
Um,
girls?
I have, I'm like thinking now just in case I like actually do, and then later tonight I'm like, why did I say no? But I've like became friends with certain girls throughout the years, but like I can't say within the last like year or two that I've hung out with girlfriends. No. And that's really unfortunate to actually like hear me say out loud. Um yeah, no. I don't. I can't say that I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I did go through a phase where I did have some girlfriends.
Mhm.
However, like after marriage and after kids, like they didn't really stick around or
Mm.
I kind of noticed when I started kind of growing and changing, they had a problem with, I guess, whoever I was becoming. And so just grow apart.
Um was it because you became a mom, so then your single friends left?
Um, yeah, most of them. And then after I became a parent and my ideas became a little bit more conservative, like I know I had certain friends who were like, "Oh, well, we're just not going to hang out with her anymore." And it's
Mhm.
like, how it's just crazy to me, like especially women, like we tend to be a bit more like I don't know, like we care more, who are more emotional about stuff. Like to just be like, I'm not going to talk to this person anymore after you've had a whole friendship with someone throughout many years and stuff like that. It's just, it's painful. How could you do that?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I wish I could do it, but I'm not that heartless.
Yeah, I did have one friend. I met somebody last year. I think it was last year. I was pretty active in the political scene here, and that's how I met her. And I felt like, oh my gosh, like, we exchange information, super like girly and feminine, wore dresses. Um, so I could tell that like And she was a little like on the high maintenance side, but like in a positive way, not in a negative. And I was like, oh my gosh, like finally, like somebody who likes to go to nice places, just like me. And like, and she's the kind of girl who would like text and be like, hey, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. If I didn't respond, like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And like, she's the kind of person, like, some people can just be on the phone all day. And she was that kind of girl. And I can be a talker. So I appreciated that, like, and sometimes you just want to gossip, you just want to talk.
Yeah.
But then slowly but surely, as months went on, I could tell, okay, this girl is a little judgy with some of the dating choices here when it's just like, oh my God, chick, like who cares? You're like blowing things out of proportion. Or um, she would get upset over almost like every little thing. Or she started to become a little too high maintenance for me. And I'm just like, okay, this is just not okay. Like you're trying to treat me like a guy, and I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be a pushover. And we just stopped talking. And it's so funny because a few weeks ago I was driving, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I really wish that didn't end sour like that, because why is it me? It like can't why can't I just like keep girlfriends? Is it that I can't keep them, or am I just like meeting the wrong ones? And then I almost feel like it's a relationship.
And it is like, it's just, I mean, it definitely is. I've experienced it like that simply because I moved away from where I grew up and where all my friends were at. I moved away, and honestly, nobody really cared that I moved away. Nobody asked where I went to. Nobody said a word, you know? And so it kind
Wow.
of sucked. Like, that's kind of sad. Like, what kind of friends did I have that nobody cared? Nobody was like,
Mm,
hey, what? You're moving? Like, oh, what happened to you? Whoa, I haven't seen you. Like, none of that. But so I moved out here, and it took me a while to kind of start making friends because we were here for only maybe a year, and then the
mm,
pandemic happened. So it just made it harder. And that year that I was here, I didn't really have the opportunity to go out and like meet people or meet other women, because my kids were not in school. So we would just be
mm,
home like all the time.
mhm,
And it is kind of like relationships, because
mhm,
I try to make friends with someone and things were cool. Like she would text me like every day or just randomly she'd be like, "Hey, can I come over?" Because she's also a mom and she has kids. So she'd
mhm.
be like, "Hey, can I come over?" And like 2, 3 times a week we'd be hanging out. And then out of nowhere, dude, from one day to another, I would invite her over and she's like, "Oh, no, I can't today." And then I would invite her again to do something. She's like, "Oh, okay, sure, I'll do it." And then last minute, she'll be like, "Oh, I just remembered I can't. I can't." And there was several occasions where I was like, I invited her to hang out at my house or at the park or, go somewhere. And she started giving me the cold shoulder. And I was like, okay, like I'm starting to feel really like pathetic
Awkward.
here. Like I feel like I'm begging her to
Yeah.
hang out. Like that's it. Like I'm not gonna I I had to stop myself because I felt like I was being needy, wanting to hang out with her when she clearly like didn't want to be friends with me anymore. And I have no idea why. I have absolutely no idea why. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say I experienced something similar, but my ex best friend, like same thing kind of. She doesn't reach out. I stopped reaching out. Do you tend to be the initiator in friendships? Do you tend to be the one like, hey, what are you doing? I don't
I
know.
tr- I definitely try to, and I definitely was for a very, very long time. Like I'll always
Mm,
be like the one to remember people's birthdays, and
yeah.
like I text people on their birthdays or call them or, hey, how are you? I haven't heard from you in a while. I just wanted to say hi. And I just recently, like maybe last year, or maybe in 2020, I was like, that's it. I'm gonna stop doing that because clearly nobody cares enough to send me those text messages. I do have a couple friends, that do care, but we're just so far away from each other. I
Yeah.
have I have a best friend that I've had since like fourth grade, since we were like 9 years old. We've been friends, but she lives
Uh-huh.
in LA and, she's far away. And so we
Yeah.
talk on the phone, we text each other, and that's about it. But so I do have her to like talk about things. And I have another friend who moved to Pennsylvania after high
Wow.
school. So she moved to Pennsylvania and we really only see each other when she comes to visit, like maybe once in a while, every few years she comes to visit her parents with her kids, and
Hmm.
I'll see her sometimes. But
Mm.
that's like the two people. And recently I've met this really cool person. Her name is Nicole.
That's right, you did.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So you still have girls that you consider best friends then?
I have like only like a couple, I guess.
So if I may share a quick story, my last friendship with my or last girl who I considered like a best friend, um, I was always the initiator, but she would reach out here and there. We went on trips together. We went to San Francisco, we went to Washington. Like she was down to go anywhere and do anything. Um, she definitely fit that artsy side of me. Like we can relate in that way. But she was always more introverted.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was always the one to kind of like reach out and talk and want to keep conversations going. Or, I mean, I could talk about anything and everything all day long, but there were times I'm just like, okay, like, is she having fun right now? Why isn't she talking? Like, it would get like that sometimes. And then after we would hang out, I would think to myself, like, does she even still want to be my friend? Because I was always the one who would reach out. And then we went to the beach once with our guy friend, and she was saying how, like, oh, back in high school, I told my girlfriends, I'm the kind of girl who could be left alone and be okay. I don't need to be on the phone all the time. And when she said that, I thought, okay, Nicole, listen to what she's saying. Listen to what she's saying. She's making something very clear right now. And then about like a month later, she called me and she was just like, oh, I'm trying to like initiate more. That's why I'm calling you. And I'm like, okay. And then a part of me is just like, why am I considering her my best friend if like I feel like it's just me? And then I started to think to myself, okay, Nicole, don't you go and get needy. And I felt like maybe I was coming off that way because I was always wanting to hang out. I understood she was a full-time mom, she's a full-time nurse. But any time there was some like, I'm a very social person. I like doing a lot of different things. And I would invite her swing dancing. She told me she used to draw in high school and she wants to get back into it. I got her drawing pencils, I got her paper. I tried to like, she was like, I don't know what my passion is. I like bought her books on like trying to figure out like, okay, what is your passion? I try to like help her out in that sense. And like when we would go swing dancing, there were times where she's just like, I don't really feel like going. Or the pencils that I bought her, like that, to draw, she gave it to her daughter. The books I bought her, she didn't even read it. And I was like, what am I doing? I remember talking to my ex-boyfriend about this, and he's just like, you're not her life coach. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, but that's like, I'm that kind of friend. We're like, okay, like, how can I help you out here?
Yeah.
And I'm also very loyal, like ride or die. Like this guy down the street, like cheated on you. Do you want to go TP his house? I'll go drive you to buy the toilet paper. Like that's just how I am. I'm loyal. I mean, I will, maybe I won't do that now, but um, but then yeah, like towards the once the pandemic started, I didn't hear from her anymore. And I
Crazy.
was not going to reach out. I was not going to reach out. I think a few times I gave her my opinion on certain things about the pandemic, and I get it. She is a nurse. So she's like, I see those COVID patients every day. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. We didn't debate, but we had different perspectives of the situation. And after that, I was just like, all right. And she even told me, she's like, I'm not in a hurry to go back to normal. I'm completely fine being at home. And I'm like thinking the only reason she's okay being at home is because she doesn't really do anything. Like, I was always the one to make the plans for us. And then I felt like I'm in a relationship with somebody who's not pouring into me. Like, I'm in this by
Yeah.
myself. And I swear that was the last time I would ever call another girlfriend a best friend, because the best friends I had high school, the friendship ended horribly and dramatically.
My
And
goodness.
then yeah, and then that one, like, it's like, okay, like maybe we're just two very different people and I'm just trying to keep the friendship going, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So currently, like every time I meet someone or I'm starting to like get friendly with someone, I get all excited. Like, oh my God.
I
Like I'm
always
making
get
a
like
friend.
that.
I'm making a friend, and it's like it's exciting. But then it's like dating where like you're getting to know the person and it's like, okay, do they like this? Do they like that? Or,
Mm-hmm.
do they just want to hang out? Or like for me, it's like important to have friends that are more than just moms. I feel like it's important for me to have
Really?
friends like that. Like I need
Mm.
like yeah, I need my mom tribe for my mom stuff, but there's just times when I don't want to be talking about kids and babies all the time. Like I'm over that.
Ah.
Like I just want to be a woman. I don't want to think about being a mom. I just want to hang out with another woman, talk about girl stuff and
Mm-hmm.
not mom stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it used to kind of bring me down, like, oh, well, I met so and so, but, they kind of lack this or that I want in a friend. So now I'm just kind of, okay, well, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Like, it's a nice thing about friends, we're not cheating on each other. We can have as many as we want.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like, all right, like now I have a friend over here. She lives right around the corner. She's my mom friend. She has a daughter the same age as my daughter. So we'll plan play dates and she's my mom friend. I met this other family at church. They no longer go to our church, but we still hang out with them and they're a family, like the parents, they're musicians too. So I
Oh,
get along with
cool.
them just fine. So there I have my music mom friend, which I like to call,
Ah.
and so I've kind of learned to see it that way because I think I would kind of get like bummed out, like, dang, like they're not the full package. Like, we're not going to get along. But it's like, no, it's okay. It's okay to have a friend that you do one thing with and a friend that you have, another bond with, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I do wonder it going, well, I'll finish my thought, but like what you're saying is true. You can have certain friends for certain things. Like, that's completely, like, I have certain guy friends in my life who are okay, they motivate me, or this one's a business owner, so I'm going to go to him for that. And um or I'll have my swing dancing friends, like, so you definitely can have different, they don't have to be the full thing. I think sometimes when it comes to dating, we want them to be the full thing, like Nicole does.
I mean, ugh, come on, you guys, you have to be the full
You
package, you
have to
know?
be the full freaking package, darn it.
I
But
mean, we're talking till death do us part. You better be the full package.
yeah, I agree. um yeah, I feel like sometimes for me as a single girl without children, there have been a few times where once, like I had a girlfriend who she married at the time, just married, and then I met her sister and she was single. And then I would hang out with them a lot. They were really cool, really genuine girls from Mexico. So I would learn some Spanish from them. I appreciated their conservative values. Um, but then it came to a point where as soon as they started having kids, I was no longer hearing from them. And then I started reaching out. And then for a while there, I started to get like some resentment. And I'm just like, if this chick invites me over again, I'm gonna say no. I'll meet you at a coffee shop. At a certain point, as I mean, I'm a lot more mature now, but back then I was just like, all we're doing, I'm just going to your house and hanging out. Like that's all we're doing. And that's fine. I can just hang out all day long as well, also. But there came a point where I'm just like, okay, I felt like I just had to say yes because I had to be understanding that she was a mother. And if I didn't, then that was selfish of me. But then at a certain point, I told myself, no, I have certain boundaries and it can't just be that one-sided. It can't just be me driving to your house. If you want to hang out, we can meet at a coffee shop or you can come over here. Why does it have to be that way?
Right.
And then I end up realizing later on, like, they're very family oriented. That's fine. If they want to hang out, they have my number. That's how I feel now about majority of the girls that I've had in my life the past 5 or 6 years. Because a lot of them I felt wanted me to drive to them. And I get it. I live in the Inland Empire. I've been living in the IE for the past 10 years. So I would meet a lot of people in LA. And I tend to always just drive out there. But at a certain point, I'm like, I can't just keep going to Hollywood to hang out with you. I can't
Right.
just keep going to you because you have a daughter to watch. Like, what about me? What about my issue? The things that I have to do in life, that's a priority for me. If it's not a child, it doesn't matter, you know? And I do think that the people or the girlfriends who see it as a two-way street, like if I meet a girl and she's like, oh, I'll go to you. And I'm just like, okay, she's a keeper because I am so tired. I
I'll
mean, I
go to
still,
you. I'll go to you after I get over my anxiety. I'll go to you.
because even with some of my guy friends, like one lives in Sherman Oaks, another one lives in Venice Beach. I've gone to majority of those guys, their places, but they will come to me as well. And then I
Yeah.
would think like, and that's what I need from a female. And it sucks because it is like you're dating. You are dating
Totally.
essentially,
Totally. And it's
you
funny
know?
because I have a guy friend. He's my husband's coworker friend, but he's my guy friend too. So I would tell him about like he would tell me about his dating experiences
Mm,
because he's a single parent, and then I would tell
uh-huh.
him about meeting women, about
Oh my God,
meeting,
how funny.
girlfriends. And it's just so funny how our combos mesh because it's like we're talking about the same thing. It's
Wow.
just like, and I would tell him about this chick, it's like, I don't know why she stopped talking to me. Everything was so perfect. She would literally come visit me like all the time. And out of nowhere, she just stopped. And I just got to the point where I told him, you know what, forget it. Like, they don't want to be with us. They're not good enough for us. Forget it.
Do you have you stood in a friendship longer than you knew you should be in?
I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why is that?
I think I just have trouble like setting boundaries and thinking of myself in the friendship because I think too much of the other person, You know, like I focus on being such a good friend that I forget about what type of friend they're being to me.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm like very like people pleaser. Like I just want to make people happy. And so it makes me like it blinds me from how I'm being treated.
I see.
Mhm.
I think the friendships that I've stood in longer than I knew I should be in was probably my ex best friend. I felt like I knew at a certain point, I'm not getting something from this friendship. And I remember speaking with a friend of mine who was a parent, and he was like, well, she's a nurse. She works long hours. She's a mom, like, yeah, but my needs are also important. So why should I continue to reach out to her? And the last thing I said to her was, here's my YouTube. Hope you're doing well. Happy belated birthday. And she responded with, I don't know why we haven't spoken, but I missed you. We need to catch up. And part of me is thinking, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Oh, I
And then
hate
I put it
that.
back on her. I was like, okay, you let me know when you have time. And I haven't heard from her.
Yeah, I have a friend who I need to set boundaries with, and she's kind of someone who I tell my husband I have her. I'm like being careful with her because I know that as soon as somebody calls me, like I'll be one to answer right away and be there for that person. And I don't want to be like that, like I need to have my
Mm-hmm.
boundaries.
Yeah.
But damn it, I forgot what I was about to say. I forgot what point I was trying to make with this story. What did you just say?
I was talking about my ex best friend and how I haven't heard from her.
Oh, right. So this person, this friend, like all the time, I miss you, and
Oh
I
God,
miss
yeah.
you and I want to see you. But it's like, do you really? Because we haven't seen each other in years. It's only a 2-hour drive. You have no kids. You can totally make the trip if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, but you just choose not to. So it's like, what? Like, stop saying that you miss
I
me
I
and you
know.
don't
I
do
don't like when
anything to
people
see
say
me.
that.
Like don't lie. Don't I feel like they lie because it's like, oh, I miss you. It's like, okay, but you don't act on it.
Right.
There's been times when I like text her and she doesn't reply, like at all. Yet
That's
I've
odd for a girl.
And yet I've gotten text messages from her that are so very like, what would be the correct word? Like I feel like sometimes she'll text me and I feel like it's expected of me to answer like right away for some
Really?
reason. Yeah.
Hmm.
But then if I text her, like I might never hear back. Like it's only when she needs me as a friend that she'll reach out to me. And then if I do reach out to her, it's very off. Like sometimes she'll respond and sometimes she won't.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. And you feel like you have to like start placing boundaries with that girl?
Yeah, because I don't think it's fair. Like I feel like I've given a lot to the friendship. Like she had trouble with a relationship once and she asked me to go pick her up to her house. And I did. I drove 2 hours with my kids in the back seat to go get her because she wanted out of her relationship. So I helped her.
Yeah.
And she ended up going back the next day, which I don't care. But, like I care about you. Like act like you care about me.
Right.
Um, so I hope she doesn't get offended if she listens to this. She's gonna know right away. She's like, oh, she's talking about me. Like, no, I love you, but I love it if you love me back.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get it. And I don't know. I do think oftentimes women tend to stay in friendships with other women when they know they should get out. And I think a part of it is just like maybe we feel bad. I don't know. There was times where like my ex best friend from high school, who I was friends with from when I was 15 to freaking 30 years old, there were times where I wanted out, but then all the good memories started playing like a movie in my head.
Yeah, like
And
you've
I'm
been through
like,
this, you've been through this and
yeah,
that.
and
How
I'm just
could
like,
you? You
we've been
know?
friends since high school. I was there when her last guy she was going to get engaged to broke up with her. I was in her wedding. We'll never be in a wedding again. By the way, as a maid of honor, it's just not going to happen because that brought drama. But there was a mixture of really good times, but there was a lot of bad. And from what we know now, just education wise, like it was nothing but toxicity. There was
Yeah.
so much toxicity. And I almost wish I knew all of this in my 20s, being her friend and just how to navigate friendships and how to put yourself first.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I would like to get like other women's opinion on if we were often told that we should be putting others before ourselves. I mean, I was raised that way to put others before ourselves. So when I say out loud, when the words come out of my mouth that I want to put myself first, there's a part in my brain that's like, that's not right. You shouldn't think that way.
Yeah.
But I
But
really,
things have changed definitely. I think we're in a place where we need to think about ourselves just a little bit more these days.
yeah,
You know, it's kind
yeah,
of like the whole
absolutely.
idea of putting that, like oxygen mask on ourselves first before being able to help somebody else. Like we got to take care of ourselves first so we can have good friendships too.
We need to have healthy friendships. Yeah. And I felt like with that friend in particular, it she was fun. She was like that party friend, like Sex in the City. It was like that. It was like anytime we would hang out, we would just get wasted together or we'd be at the club together. And but it was just bad. It was just all bad. And even the way our friendship ended on our 30th freaking birthday, her yelling at me. Oh my God, I want to tell the story because I know she probably won't
Oh
even
my
listen.
God. Tell
But
us.
like, she invited me to go to San Diego for our birthday. So this is where I want to have my birthday. And I was like, I want, for you and I would actually think it'd be cool if we went to like, I don't know, like Portland, Oregon. Cause like I'd want to go to like some artsy museums or something. And that's just not her at all. She is fine dining 24/7. That's fine. That could be me, but there's also other parts of me. And I felt like who I was at that time, she's no longer there anymore. We are just two separate people. All she wants to do is go out and club. And she was married. She was married.
Oh,
The
crazy.
guy, I'm sorry.
I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, she was married. He was in the Air Force. He they got married at 22 and took her out of her parents' house. And I kind of felt like that was why she married him, but whatever. I'll never say it out loud. Um, but when we decided to go to San Diego, I told her I'm not going to drink because tomorrow night I'm celebrating my birthday in LA. And then I left the club early and I locked the door. I didn't realize that I locked the knob where you can't get in with the key. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, she was banging on the door.
Oh my God.
She was banging on it. It woke me up. I opened the door and she was like, "Why did you lock the door?" All dramatic. And her husband's just staring there, like standing there, not saying anything, not saying, "Babe, calm down." Like she was freaking yelling at me. And I was like, dude, I didn't know that I locked the latch. Like it didn't dawn on me. All I knew was I wanted to get out of there, out of the club and go to bed. And they were all wasted, her and her friends. I was so annoyed. I'm thinking I came here
Oh, so she
because
had other friends there.
she had other friends there.
Oh.
And my brother was like, I'm going to be in San Diego that same weekend. Let's drive together. So that's what him and I did. And I told him, okay, the next day we're leaving though, because I'm celebrating my birthday in LA. So it was just not that much fun because later on she was just like, you ruined my birthday. You're such a bitch. You didn't even realize that it's not about you. It's about me too. And I was already getting to the point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore because anytime I would go visit her in Arizona, that's where her and her husband lived. We would go to pool parties. And I felt like I was partaking in her cheating because he would just be by the poolside while she is at the bar getting drinks from guys. And like he wouldn't say anything. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe he's into it. I don't know. But it was just, I always just felt awkward because no matter what we did, alcohol always had to be involved. And I'm just like, at a certain point, like, this is just, that's all this is.
Yeah.
And, and yeah, like I mentioned, like, I felt like that was our 30th birthday when we've already had years of drama. When I was in her wedding, she kicked me out and then she brought me back in. Yeah. And I mean, like, there were some good times, but like, it was just such a toxic friendship. And I felt like there was a lot of like emotional abuse that sometimes us women don't realize that that can actually happen in a friendship with a female.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, after that time, after that, I was like, forget it. I'm done. And it's so funny because I remember reading something shortly after that where it talks about an end of a friendship is equivalent to a breakup. And I kid you not, there have been times over the past 5 years where I would think about her. And I'm just like, I wonder. And she's not even with that guy anymore. She's divorced. She's married to somebody else now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I really like all the things that the Kara Alwell says about friendships in her books, and how she brings up envy and
Mm,
confidence and just empowering each other. And I think that a lot of women are just kind of caught up in the like competition,
mm,
or they start maybe pushing away certain friendships because I guess maybe their confidence level isn't the same, or they feel threatened by another woman,
mm.
or they envy another woman, so they like don't want to be friends anymore. There's so many factors that play into the drama of female friendships.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There really is. And I feel like at this point in my life and where I'm at, it's either I want people who are going to help me succeed
Mhm.
or I'm not going to be your friend at all. And I don't think it's wrong to think that way, like if the person isn't going to help you succeed or you're not going to be able to help each other or water each other's garden, then like what's the point of being in each other's
Right.
life. And I think, like, I don't know, oftentimes, oh my god, now I forgot my thought.
But that's important though, because that's something that I noticed with like my whole group of friends. Like, I felt like I was starting to change. I wanted to do different things, and they were all just kind of stuck,
Hmm.
like doing the same thing. Like, it's always about, okay, like, where are we going to get drunk tonight? Or,
Mm,
it's just, I guess it's probably because I was like one of the first ones to get married and have kids. And so I kind of moved on from that. And I just kind of wanted more than just that.
yeah.
And I kind of felt like they'd feel guilty to like have me around because I didn't want to do that anymore. So it just got easy for people to not invite me to eat to stuff anymore, like,
Mm,
and now that I look back on it, like it used to bum me out so much. But now that I look back on it, I'm like, you know what? It's a good thing that happened because I can see my level of growth
mhm.
from this whole situation. Like, if I would have stayed in LA, would I have grown at all? Would I have changed at all? Because, like my friends would have stayed the same, my life would have stayed the same. So, I don't know. I guess
Mm,
it kind of worked out in the end. It's not that bad losing friends. It sucks.
yeah,
I went through like this whole phase where I kind of like I would really feel sad, kind of depressed, lonely,
yeah,
but I'm like over it. And now I see how this change like benefited me. And now I'm a little bit wiser about picking my new friends.
yeah. No, that's good. I mean, I definitely feel like as you get older, you just realize how valuable your time is and how you don't want to just spend it with just anybody. And I not just spend it with anybody, but like you want to have high value women in your
Yeah,
life, you
totally.
know?
Let me
And
tell you something I love about our friendship is how we keep each other going, how we push each other, how we like keep each other on check. Like, what did you do this week to like reach your
mm,
goal or whatever? What's your goal this month? What's your goal this year? Like, I like
yeah.
that, and I don't think I've ever had a friendship like that. Yeah.
Mm. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I really have either. I think I
Yeah.
might have
Like,
I've paid women to help keep me accountable. But that was it. That was it. Imagine if we were in person, like what if it was all awkward?
dude, I know. That's, what's funny? My
No,
husband
like,
says
what if
that.
it was
My,
awkward? We'll just like,
my, oh, what do we talk about?
I know, I'm like, let's just FaceTime
My
each other,
my
Ivy.
husband brought that up because I told him, I was like, why is it that I like feel so attached to certain like Instagram friends? Like, I feel like I know them so well. Like, I call them my friends. And my husband's like, oh, but you don't even know them. Like, I'm like, but like, I talk to them like all the time on social media. And he's like, yeah, but that's social media though. Like, people act different in real life. And I'm
Mm.
like, that's well, yeah, but I don't know. Like, I kind of think of like myself, like what you see is
Yeah,
what you get, kind of.
yeah,
So I try to put the real me out there just so people know the real me. But
totally.
my husband's like, oh, well, you say that you get along with them, but like, you don't know what it's going to be like when you actually hang out with them in person.
Mm. I definitely do think maybe in the beginning, people were like, that's social media. Don't even look
Mhm.
at that. They're putting their best foot forward. But since time has gone on and people are using it as a way to get their podcast, their comedy, their everything, I do think that people are putting their real self out there now because we're so accustomed to this. And I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I put my real self out there. Like,
Yeah.
you
I'm
know,
I'm definitely not one to like Photoshop my pictures and stuff. Like I'm too
mm,
lazy for that.
really?
I would be too lazy to Photoshop myself. Like I think I would be embarrassed to like meet people in person and then have them be like, she doesn't look like her Instagram pictures.
Mm,
Yeah.
I don't think I Photoshop. I mean, I may use a filter every now and then.
Well, that's a filter. Like filters are filters, but I'm talking like women that like enhance their bodies and make themselves look thinner and all this stuff.
Yeah. It's so funny. I was actually, I don't know if you like watching any of the Housewives. but I was
I
watching.
haven't dipped my feet in any reality TV shows lately. It's
No.
been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was actually watching Real Housewives of OC because they are the OG ones. And it's just really interesting. I mean, I get it. It's not necessarily reality. The producer may be like, okay, so and so's coming. So remember what she did last week. And everybody's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're ready to like start talking crap about her.
Okay.
But just the dynamic with all those girls and their friendships, I was like watching it the other night. So, like, the way I work is how I want my life to be, how I want to create my life. I'll watch shows that how I want my life to be, or like I want it to mimic some show,
Okay. Yeah.
if that makes sense, because
Mhm.
we are the CEO of our life. And so, like, sometimes I'll watch Devil Wears Prada if I'm like, I got to get inspired for, like, I don't know, I got to start wearing different clothing. So I'm going to watch that and maybe I'll pick up on something and I'll go buy it. And I was watching The Real Housewives of Orange County, and I'm like, because that's how, not how I want my friendships to be like, but I'm like, why aren't, but, and then sometimes I will get sad from watching it because I'm just like, how come I'm not like in Miami right now with like 5 or 6 freaking hot
I get
business
sad.
owner women,
Yeah.
making more money than their damn husbands. Like, okay,
Right.
like that is what I'm striving for.
So after watching Sex and the City, I'm just like, man, like I'm so sad right now. I don't have friends. I can't go out to brunch.
Is this is this harmful for
I
us? Not good for
can't.
our mental health after
Like
all.
it made me sad. Like it's heartwarming, right? But like it makes me sad. Like I want to be able to do that. I want to just be able to be like, oh, okay, let's meet here and we'll have lunch and then the girls get together and we have lunch and talk
Yeah.
about business stuff and whatever. And it's sad. I remember watching, what else did I watch? Have you seen, I think it's called Firefly Lane on Netflix with Katherine Heigl. I saw season one and I don't have Netflix anymore, so I don't know if like season two's out. But it's a show about two friends, two best friends. And I loved it, but it just made me so sad. It's like, oh my God, I don't have that one friend or I don't have friends.
Mm.
And another movie that made me super emotional was, I don't know if you've seen it. It's an old school movie. It's called Steel Magnolias.
I've heard of that. I don't know why I
And
haven't seen it.
I think I told you a while back to watch it. It's it's a good movie, but that's another good movie where I'm like, I don't have friends. I'm gonna die alone.
I know probably sounds a little cliche, but your husband, that's not equivalent.
It's it's not equivalent. It's a good
Mm.
companionship. However,
Ah,
however,
okay.
like it's just different, because like I feel like you need a woman friend to
Yeah.
talk because only another woman is going to understand certain things that you're going through. I feel like, yeah, I have my husband, like we'll say that we're each other's like friend, we're best friends or whatever. But there's just certain things that you need women,
Yeah.
you need women to talk about certain subjects that just a guy is not going to be able to understand the same way.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Do Oh my God. I was going to ask a really good question. I just lost my train of thought. We're talking about female friendships.
Yeah. This is what happens when we run scriptless live. We forget stuff.
I know. I need to have we need to have like a PowerPoint here.
And we've tried
Um,
that. It doesn't work out that way.
do you think though? that if you genuinely wanted girlfriends, you can go out there and get them.
I mean, I thought that's what I've been trying to do all this time. So I guess it's not that easy. I don't know. I I want to say that I have been trying, and so far, I was discouraged at first. Things are getting better. I'm meeting more people. I'm going out more. Um It's still like super cold out here, so I can't really go out, but it's starting to
Mm,
get warm. And so that makes me excited. I want to go out. I started going to yoga. So I'm hoping to like click with some women there and make more friends, even if they're older. Like, I don't even care what age they are. Like, I don't care.
yeah,
Yeah, because
because
the yoga class that I've been going to, it's all older women, like 50
okay,
and up. It's like 50 and up. And I'm like the only like 30 something there.
really.
But it's nice though. Like it's it's a good environment. Yeah.
The reason I ask is because something that like my therapist once said was, you are the CEO of your life and your time. So if you want certain friendships, you can be intentional on going out there and finding them. So I was thinking the other night, I was like, okay, like my days off are like, Thursday, Friday. And there are times where I feel like I'm okay. I have like my public speaking like once a month. And, I want to get to a certain level with that. And then what else? This. And then, okay, I work my job. That's fine. Set hours, went over my schedule. And there are times on my days off where I'm just like, okay, like I'm tired, especially because I just started swing dancing. My body is tired. And I'm also trying to do weight training right now. So I'm really trying to do what I can to just stay really, really active. Um, and I was thinking, okay, if I really want to go out there and find girlfriends, I need to go to networking events. I need to hang out at these swing dancing clubs a little bit longer and not leave as soon as it's done. I started thinking of all the different activities that I like to do. And it's essentially, yeah, it is just like dating. You have to put yourself out there.
There.
And I get this whole virtual thing, but sometimes, Ivy, I mean, I want to be able to meet up with somebody for coffee.
For sure.
There's only so much I can
Yeah.
do virtually. I can't have a friendship virtually.
Hmm.
Um, that's why I asked you if you feel like you've been doing what you can, because
I
I
feel like
felt,
I feel like I have. I just have setbacks sometimes. Yeah.
and
Like I
then
can't
it's,
put myself out there like as much as I want to. I can't just go out and do things sometimes because I have my kids. Like I have to
yeah.
work around that mom's schedule. So it's like, okay, well, maybe when they're in school, I started doing yoga now. So now I have that. And like I'm just trying to incorporate more things that will make me go out there, put myself out there.
Mm, yeah. Because it really, that's exactly like what it comes down to. Because I was thinking like I'll have guy friends who want to hang out, and I love the fact that I do have like 4 or 5 like friends who are men, and one of them in particular will talk to me about the girls that he's dating, and he'll be like, okay, I need your advice, I'm gonna go on a date this weekend, and then the next weekend it didn't work out with her, I'm gonna go out with somebody else now. But like, I'm just like, okay, this is all good and all, but like I need women. And it's funny
Yeah.
because that particular guy friend told me that he's looking for more male friends, and he knows more women. And I'm just like, do you want to switch then? Because
That
I have
is
a lot of guy friends.
crazy. You're like, can you introduce me to some of your women friends?
I know, right? Um, but yeah, I just sometimes I do feel like, I don't know, like, is it easier for some girls to stay friends or to find friends than it is for others, or it really just all depends on like your lifestyle and what you're doing,
It
really.
does. It totally does. It depends on your lifestyle and what else? It depends on your lifestyle and just, I guess, it might be just solely that. Cause like,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Like, what do you want out of this friendship? You don't just want to hang out and get drunk like every weekend. So maybe you shouldn't meet friends at bars or something. I don't know. I don't know. I have a hard time because most of the time is I'm just doing things with my kids.
Mm.
So if I see someone like an interesting woman like at the park or something, like I try to spark conversation one way or another. I'm like, okay, well, there's someone. Maybe I can try to talk to them. Like say hi. I like your purse. You look cute
Hmm.
today. I like your shirt. I like your shoes or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And it's funny because even like in the swing dance world, like I'm getting back to, I'm telling myself, okay, like start socializing, start mingling. But I feel like in the past, like the times that I've gone, I have met more men than women. And I'm just like, what is up with that? Why? I'm flattered. I appreciate the male attention, but
Don't remember where I heard this, but it must have been some type of YouTube video. Um, Somebody said something along the lines of certain women not being able to have female friends because they are alpha females.
but then wouldn't two alphas attract each other or
I don't know. We're attracted to each other, aren't we? So I don't know. And so I guess what they were saying in that video is that other women feel kind of threatened if their friend or whoever they're talking to, if it's like somebody who's better looking or that has something that they want or smarter or whatever. I don't know. I guess we go back to the whole competing thing.
I would think that a confident, intelligent woman would only want to be around a confident, intelligent woman.
Of course. But what about those women that are not confident?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, that's
Like,
the thing. Like
do you
maybe some of the women that we've met are not as confident and that's why they can't be friends with us.
do you think there are more outspoken, strong personality type women out there, or are there more quieter, timid, passive women?
Oh, that's a hard question. Because I want to say yes and I want to say no. Like I feel like a lot of women could be passive in the if we're talking about friendship. We could be
Yeah.
very passive, I think, in friendships.
Yeah, we can. So do you tend to be more of a submissive in a friendship with a girl, or
I
is it a
think so.
balance?
I I think that I used to be more submissive and I think that because I think about it more now, I keep it balanced now because I think about it like I am aware of my own faults. So I try not to go down that road.
Hmm. Yeah. I think just judging, I don't know. I think like my last long-term friendship, my ex-best friend, she was more submissive, but she didn't really have that much of an opinion. And that would kind of bother me because I'm just like, I'm taking control if you're not,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I'm definitely like very go with the flow. Like I have no problem like oh you want to choose a restaurant to have dinner at? No, no, no problem. Just go ahead. Like go ahead and do that. Oh, you want to choose where we want to go today? Like I don't have a problem with it. I can go ahead and make suggestions. I can choose, but like if you want to do it, like I won't have a problem with it. I think that's what I'm like. That's
Mm,
but I feel like I'll probably be more outspoken now that I'm older
yeah,
and I know a little bit more about friendships.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how to navigate, because I feel like the only time that I like my most recent experience with that girl, she was very strong personality, very alpha, very opinionated, judgy wedgy, and at times she would even be judgmental towards some of the guys that I'm dating. At times I really didn't care. I was just dating them. They weren't my boyfriend. But if I in fact want to continue spending time with them, don't judge that.
Yeah.
Like, just be supportive. Um, but she was definitely a little bit more strong minded, and I appreciated that. But I also noticed that she would not overbear, she wasn't overbearing, but her, I don't know, strong personality would like override mine. And I didn't like that. I mean, like, I didn't really care at times, so whatever, like you can have a strong personality this time, that's fine. But at the same time, once I realized, like, okay, this chick, like, wants me to be like a guy and like she's kind of controlling, like flashes and glimpse of my last relationship in high school where with that married girl, it came back to my memory
Oh, yeah.
because she was like that. She was bossy. I remember going to San Diego another time with her, and she was like, this is the club we're going to. This is the restaurant we're going to. And this is the time we're leaving. And we're not going to leave until I'm done getting ready. And I would tell her, other girls are here, and not all of us want to go to a club. And she would always be like, well, I want to go to a club, and that's where we're going to go.
My God.
And she would get her way. Yeah. Yeah. Those girls exist.
Can't stand that. I couldn't be like that. No.
Yeah. That's when I was just like, at a certain point, I'm like, I have to get out of this. And I just think it's important for women to know that their time is like valuable, and don't just give it away to any girl just for the sake of having a friend. Because
Right.
I had another friend where we were cool at times, but then she was a little disrespectful. And at that time, without even realizing it, I was so accustomed to just other people kind of putting me down that I just laughed it off. Her and I
So
are no longer friends.
to wrap things up, what do you think are important things to keep in mind as women when we're making new friendships with other women? Like what what's important? Like definitely set boundaries.
Hmm.
Um I think it's important to maybe look at the other person's lifestyle to see if you guys are going to be compatible because like you said, like if this person likes to party all the time, then they're not
Hmm.
exactly going to have fun doing the things that you want to do, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
What would you say is something else important to keep in mind?
I think it's important to be around individuals who have the same vision and values as you. Um, I may not, as long as they fit some, if as long as they're like-minded in some aspect, the girl friend that I may have may not need to be an artist, but it would help if she was at least a business owner, or she doesn't have to be into I don't know, anything that has to do with business, but she could at least be like somewhat artsy. They they need to fulfill at least some part of our characteristic of our
Sure.
personality. And they also have to believe in open communication and healthy communication and whatever. If they're the kind of girlfriend who is thinking like whatever a girl wants for her life, that's fine. But if I'm trying to shoot for the stars and she can be a bit of a naysayer, or she has a
Yeah.
fixed mindset where she doesn't think bigger, then that is a problem.
Totally.
So I would say you guys have to be like-minded. You have to, it, and also, I mean, even if you're even like aspiring to be in a certain industry, it's important to make friends with those people who are in that industry. And you guys can help
Totally.
each other.
Yep. Well, that was a good list. For those of you watching, let us know in the comments what you guys think. Any of you ladies have trouble making friends, girlfriends? Any of you men have trouble making guy friends? Let us know in the comment section because we need comments in that area. Y'all are watching and not commenting. Okay.
Yeah, what the hell? Some of my friends are watching this too, and they don't comment, dang
All
it.
right, you guys. Why aren't you guys supporting us? Come on. This is the friendship episode. So I expect everyone to
To be a good friend and comment.
like, comment, share, and subscribe. All
Yes.
right. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Girl Chat with Nicole and Ivy. Bye.